Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear people, so in our path, there is a principle which is the core principle in every spiritual path. But it is a principle which is very much lost in this new age scene, where they talk all about opening third eyes and opening this chakra and that chakra. But this will never happen because you cannot ignore this core principle, and the core principle is purity. Purity in thoughts, purity in speech, purity in actions. And when you try purity, when you go for that purity, which is not the same as morals, because morals has always the aspect of society. What the society pleases is the morals, and what it doesn't please is not the morals. But purity in the spiritual traditions has never changed. It's always the same. So when we go on purity, we purify, first of all, the idea that we are not good enough, not valuable, not beautiful, not healthy, and all these things. So purity is really the essential core, the essential rope you have to stick on it. Because only through a certain level of purity, you have a certain level of insight. It goes together. Because the more you understand your inner self, you understand also the forces of the cosmos. You understand the forces of yourself. You understand the gifts you have been received. And that comes with a great responsibility. Yeah. Imagine if you start to hear things, not only your thoughts, not only how a dog is barking, but you hear in a complete different spectrum, and you hear complete different things, or you see things that you could not see before. You could not enter in it, and now you can. And you will receive informations that could be very challenging for the world, for others. And you know that they are true. So if you're not pure, what will happen? You will start to abuse it. You will start to go on the magic path. You will go on the lower self. Your ego will take over. And that's why there is this natural protections. Anyone who claims that he has this and this and this and this, and his life looks like a whole theater, and God knows what, it cannot be. Yeah. It cannot be, because there is a protection. And thanks God there is this protection. That's why you can watch all these videos about opening this, opening that, removing this, removing that, dealing with your trauma, dealing with this and that. All this will fail if you don't walk on purity. It's that simple. And that's why it says in the first surah in the Book of Love, Al-Fatiha, the opener. It says already in the title, it's the opener, and it says As-Sirat al-Mustaqim, the straight path. You have to go straight. And the straight path has to do with purity. It's all about that. You become safe for others. You become safe for yourself. And when you feel that guilt that many people in this world suffer under guilt, and they don't know even why they feel all the time guilty, especially men. It's because there is impurities. It's that simple. Yeah? There is impurities, and these impurities you cannot see also unless you have reached a certain level of purity, because the impurities go very deep. They go in your most subtle level, and there they are the most powerful. So a person can live a so-called good life from outside, like many people do. You find most citizens living from outside a more or less good life. Yeah, not everyone drinks in the weekend himself into coma. Not everyone looks permanently sites which he shouldn't watch. There are people, they have quite a good level. Yeah, they live a healthy life, let's say. They live a life where they concern about their own well-being and the well-being of their family and so on. But they still are ruled by their subconscious energetic relations which we all have, because we are first of all beings of relations. We relate with everyone and everything all the time, and these relations, if we don't understand them how they are, then there can come a chaos from a place which you say, why is it there? Why is this still this strange artifacts in my life? Yeah. And I'm living a straight life. I'm praying, I'm meditating. There's many people who do that. And yet they do not really make real steps. Yeah. They somehow stop there on this level. And that has to do with purity, because purity needs to be practiced very radical. And then you will see in the very deep subtle levels of yourself, you will understand these very, very, very subtle connections that you have and their power. This is why the divine, which is the most subtle of all, is the most powerful. There's even one name, Ya Latif, which actually connects you with this subtlety. And Ya Latif usually is translated as a friendly one and so on, but it also has this meaning of subtleness, you know? And it can bring you invisibility. If you recite Ya Latif in a certain number, in a certain time, it leads you to invisibility. Yeah. And what can you do when you are invisible? Imagine. You know? So all these things open when you have the purity for it. And purity means also strength, because the purity must be guarded. It's like you become your own guardian, you become your own Ridwan, you become your own angel of your own paradise. No? Because you are invited to create a universe for your own self. You can become a co-creator, but you have to know how to protect it. You have to know how to organize it. And all that will be given to you through the eye of purity and self-responsibility, self-control. When that starts, you come into another league. There you will also see that there is people over you. Yeah, there is people over you, and you have to find out by being with them, by sitting with them and observing them very, very, very detailed. What is the difference? What makes them to go ahead? Because maybe you see the level of purity is similar or is the same, but there is something more than that. And all this has to be shown to each person individually. So now we are in a very rough point, a very rough situation in our humanity, very rough, and we have to make this jump now to a very tender humanity, where we really brothers, where we sisters, and where we understand Earth is our own body. No, it's not separate from us. Earth is not separate. It is our own body. From everything Earth lives, we also live from it. We live from the sun, the water, the air. Same. Yeah. It's our own body. And this consciousness that we are belonging to each other, that we are in reality one, yeah. Each one is a ray of the divine light. And when it comes back, the sun is completed. No? And this is what you have to do yourself. You have to allow everyone to be a ray, and then your own sun can be completed. Yeah? Otherwise, you prevent that by fighting others, by thinking bad about others, speaking bad. We prevent our own sun to shine. No? So all this is a process we have to learn. And this is where we are now. And because we are in a critical situation in our system, as a system, ecological system, social system, economic system, we are all on somehow kind of critical points. So the pressure now is very high, as we have to move quite a step. It's not a little step we have to take. It's not a small one. It's actually, this time, it's a little bit a bigger one. No. It will happen. It will happen. There's good news for us also. And that should be your faith. It will be rough for some time, but it's a good ship. We are on a good ship. So we will somehow navigate through these storms, and purity will be your light in these times. If you just remember that, just remember this, you will be protected. Yeah. Thank you very much, and all the blessings to you and to your family. Stay alive, stay healthy. Thank you.